Mm, mm. They want to know, Rod, how to open ourselves to downloads. You talked about these downloads from Big Mama. How to open ourselves to them.
Well, I give out a couple of suggestions on this. One is to do a body cleanse of your major filters, like your kidneys,
Mm,
your liver and gallbladder, and your intestines. Do a heavy metal cleanse, um, and take spirit baths.
mm,
Right? It's a book called 105 Spirit Baths, and you can add your own touch to the spirit bath to make the energy more potent.
mm,
Right? So, from the energy baths, practice grounding to the earth, especially for the women,
mm,
because now they becoming a Tesla coil, so to speak.
mm,
With so they syncing up. This is called the Sybil effect.
mm,
The sisters are syncing up in order to answer the grievances according to the Akashic record and to mete out justice according to the laws of Mott,
mm,
right? Taking no revenge, but sparing no vengeance,
mm.
right? So they said a double-edged sword, which cuts both ways. It cuts to tell the truth and it cuts down the liar,
Mm.
right? So we I'm getting off track here. Brain firing too fast. I can't keep up. But the double edged sword is the speaking of the truth that cuts two ways. And when you that's a communication technique. So when you see the language, you also see what's called double speak. Double speak reveals the forked tongue liar.
Mm, mm,
But you don't know his language, you can't reveal him
mm,
because you don't know his language. Once you know his language, then you can reveal him,
mm,
right? Because you can show the secret that was kept in the pale face with forked tongue.
mm.
That means he was speaking on behalf of somebody else, but he was saying what they told him to say,
Right, right, right.
right? We call it talking out both sides of your neck.
But you're right. That's what we call it. That's exactly what we call it. Let's do one more question, y'all. Then we're gonna get out of here. Um, I just seen a question. Hold up, y'all. What's the best method of developing the spiritual psychic abilities?
Practice, 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 practice. So you have to pick a training tool. The training tool comes as oracle devices, tarot cards, scrying mirrors, runes, seashells. As you train to learn to read those things, you training to learn to read the energy that's coming in because the energy affects the oracle reading tool
Mm,
and is projected through your subconscious mind, and that's why you're able to translate it, right? So you get you a control remote viewing manual, and you learn the principles of control remote viewing, um, and then you practice on your own time. Don't nobody have to know what you're doing because you can do it all without saying a word,
right, right.
right? But you keep your own personal record so you can monitor your development,
Mm,
right? So all of these faculties is natural to the human, and it was the Kali Yuga that allowed us to be subjugated and used against us and weaponized to oppress us.
mm, mm. Indeed. Listen, once again, Rod, I want to thank you for coming on here. I want to share your Cash App one more time before we get out of here. Anything you want to leave the people with before we get out of here, my brother?
Um, this is the part of the game where we close out all of the contracts
Mm-hmm.
that's still extant,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so we need to be watching for the sudden exposure of the revealing of what's taking place. Like they got a county, I think it's in South Carolina, refused to acknowledge the presidency of Joe Biden, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the expectation is for that to set the precedent that's going to launch a wave of similar events happening across the nation,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then we have to watch for the computer from the boy. I don't want to get too much more specific, but those who know what I'm talking about know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So the son's computer is the catalyst. That's the straw that broke the bull's back, and it's being released in different forms. Some forms is parody in order to soften the people up for the full exposure of the content that's going to tie it to another file um, of another guy that's going to tie it to um, a lady from Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
All of it is a domino effect. And it's going to go all the way around the world with all of these resigning um, prime ministers and high ministers of the country because they was in on the corruption. And ain't nobody getting out here without paying for their dirt. That's the
Mm.
bottom line,
It's the bottom line, huh?
right?
Mm.
And so the verification been came in off the Blue Lodge on the Atone
Mm-hmm.
to validate the claim that everything that I was saying for behalf on behalf of our people was accurate, and that I had got all of the tribes on the same page,
Mm-hmm.
right? By following the instructions that all of the tribes gave in bits and pieces. Like I told you, everybody brought a piece,
Right, right, right.
right? So it's not me who really did it. It's them that did the most work. But I had to do the most work to get all of the works together
Indeed.
in
Indeed.
order to see the big picture. That
Mm-hmm.
don't make me better than nobody,
Mm-hmm.
right? That just make me had a different function in our for our people than say another guy that came up in our community.
Mm-hmm.
My role is different.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to do a different job a different way.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that I done it was the only way that it would work
Mm-hmm.
because of the patterns that's set in the holographic matrix. These
Mm-hmm.
patterns is what we have to read in order to solve the problems.
Mm-hmm.
So we collect the grievances in order to solve the problems of the society going into the golden age to
Mm-hmm.
usher in an age of wellness and prosperity.
Mm-hmm.
And this is supposed to release a lot of the previously concealed medical technology that the government was holding back from the people because they couldn't exploit them in the name of insurance,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? Like the Oregon and all of those different things that they label quackery is still proving to perform beneficial healing results. But now we have technology that's so much further advanced than they've been telling us because they've been getting the technology from our elders that came from all parts of the universe to upgrade Earth at the close of the age, the Piscean age, so that when we usher in the golden age of the sun cycle, we can come in with prosperity, high technology, and now we are grassroots, each one teaching one how to open our spiritual um, senses to receive the spiritual messages without feeling the guilt as if you are insane.
Indeed.
We understand that the fear mongering and the insanity accusations was what was weaponized to use as the security defense for the system to continue to run their tyranny, and the people who spoke up became persecuted for speaking up. So the people who don't want to speak up in the interest of the people shouldn't be speaking at this time, because now it's not about me getting my pocket fat. It's about bringing in global liberation of the people and giving everybody the opportunity to take the destiny of their life in their own hands and create their best life from the prosperity that we are trying to establish. That's going to be successful because it already is.
Indeed. Thank you once again, my brother, for coming on the platform. Tell them your Instagram, your other Instagram one more time. Because
Morpheus Mysticus Magus. That's capital MORPHREEUS, capital MYSTICUS, capital MAGUS.
Indeed. Make sure y'all follow him on Instagram. Thank you for tuning in. I might be back tomorrow. I'm not sure, y'all, but I'll let y'all know. But with that being said, thanks for tuning in. This is Brother Rich with the Brother Rod Hayes, and we signing out, family. Peace.
Peace, God.
Yes, yes.
We already know all of the ones who they murdered because they putting their life on the line to get us out of the condition. Well, Farrakhan came to us and said, we ain't going to let no more our leaders get just murdered like that. Right? So the FOI first had to get rid of the traitors they had. So Wallace decentralized, remember? And then Farrakhan single-handedly rebuilt it, but he didn't just rebuild it, he handpicked everybody. He already knew who he was getting his in the circle because he knew who the traitors was, because Malcolm drug them all out. Right? But we don't know what's going on because we don't know how to read the lingo. But Malcolm dragged them out and called them by name in the public domain. That tell you who they loyalists are by knowing who they are. And when you know who they are and who they loyalists are, you know who not to pick from. And that's why he was able to be successful without getting murdered this long, because they can't touch him. He set his shit up right. Right? And he married to the grand matriarch on the land. So that make you persona non grata. Keep your hands off Farrakhan. Now you got a lot of people that think that he might have sold out because he been in the Masonic lodges and all that shit. But they don't know, if we don't go in there to get this shit out, we can't unravel what they doing to our children. So if he did go into the Masonic lodge to talk to them motherfuckers and get this shit out, because it's already out in the public. Elijah sent Clarence one way. He sent Raj Wahaj's dumbass another way, and he got tricked. He sent motherfucking Hulan Mitchell, aka Yahweh Ben Yahweh, in a different direction. He got to cover all of the bases. Trace these dudes back and find out where their influence come from. H-Rap Brown, Stokely Carmichael, Fred Hampton, motherfucking Bobby Seale, and motherfucking what's that nigga name? They all was Malcolm loyalists. They had all made allegiances with Malcolm based on his moves. Ryan Karinga, all them motherfuckers. They all taking sides with Malcolm, and they willing to take the Nation of Islam to war about this shit. But then they find out they got infiltrated by the same motherfuckers that the Nation did. And them niggas was niggas, because you couldn't infiltrate none of them black organizations unless you look like us. So that exposed the infiltrators, and then it take you right back to the parable of the elders that say, get rid of the enemy within, because once you get rid of the enemy within, the enemy without can do you no harm. So now we got to find these inside traitors, right? So they got a calling card, right? They always sliding up under a motherfucker making moves so they can tear down the leader. That's how you know who that is. They got to tear down the leader. And then they're going to put themselves in the spotlight like they the shit, but they ain't nothing but shit, right? So then you find out Jesse Jackson and them all implemented in the assassination with the government of Martin Luther King, and you like, holy shit, what the fuck? It's in the lawsuit, pull it up. Coretta done won. The government has been found guilty of the assassination of
That's
Martin Luther
facts.
King in civil court. Go read the motherfucking transcript. And then you're going to be surprised at the niggas that was standing with Martin, walking with Martin, talking that motherfucking we shall overcome shit was the ones behind helping the government to set his ass up.
That's a fact.
Right? So it wasn't no pink motherfuckers that set him up. Right? So we can't blame them for that. We can't blame them for Malcolm. We can't blame them for Clarence. We know who killed Clarence. Same motherfuckers, the Dirty Moors. Look just like us. Because wasn't no pale faces finna go over there where he was at. With no motherfucker talking about shooting him, they would have never got away.
Hey, so these dirty boys are the ones that trying to stop us from claiming making the proclamations and the claims.
Right.
Like to me.
They don't want us to do that because it bumps them off the land. They have nowhere to go. It bumps them off the land when the ones that's from the land take their feds, they stuck, they ass out.
Hey, so long as they can wear their feds, they can be in disguise as us. They can disguise themselves as us. But once we take their feds off, they ass out.
So now you have a group of trained Moors called Peace Stones. Right? That's their job to figure out who the dirty Moors is, who the righteous Moors. It's what you call family business. That's their family business. I'm from the Blue Lodge. It really don't have nothing to do with me other than I'm obligated to tell the people who the dirty hands is behind the scene, the black hand under the KKK robe. Right? If I wasn't obligated, I wouldn't be telling them. I wouldn't even be saying nothing about them because that's not my family tree. Right? My king is Hoover. Right? But I got to respect all of the chiefs on the land. There's 3 high chiefs on the land. Right? And they putting this shit back in order. So I don't have to worry about who the dirty Moors is or none of that. That's Angel Bay's job. He have to clean that shit up. But if he want me to give him a hand, I ain't got no problem with it. You understand what I'm saying? But that's his family business. He have to clean that shit up. So what he say, go, and that's just gonna be the end of it. Ain't nobody getting in their family business. The righteous Moors gonna clean the dirty Moors up. They know who they is. That's not my job. I'm not under their doctrine. I don't ascribe to Moorish science as my primary doctrine. I describe to growth and development. However, I was an understudy in a Moorish science. That means I studied under their sciences until I figured it out. And then I seen what Noble Drew Ali was saying because he left codes in the Circle 7. And because I knew what the codes was and what to look for, I was able to find my message, right? And go straight to who he tell me to look for, Angel Bay. He told me that. That's a message from the grave, nigga, from 1929 to now. That message got to me. Angel Bay is the man. That's what he told me. And then when I do the research in the background on him and match, because my mama told me Angel Bay that's his job too. And she been knowing him since he was a teenager. So she told me that was his job. She said, I don't know what's wrong. Why they got him and Larry in there? They can't clean up the street from in there. That's what my mama told me. I said, what you mean? She says that's their job. They was born to clean the streets up in Chicago. In turn, it's going to affect the whole Midwest and the rest of the country. Big Tookie it had to go clean that shit up on the West Coast. Right? That's not my job. I'm not a Crip. I'm growth and development. But I can tell you who's responsible and who have to answer to the people and who have to clean shit up. Ain't nobody getting out here without cleaning their shit up. I don't give a fuck who you is. That go for me too. That don't make me no better than nobody else. If I don't get this shit done, I can't go nowhere till we figure this shit out. So I'm telling y'all, I'm giving y'all the pieces to the puzzle. Put this motherfucking shit together. These niggas don't belong here. They look like us. They not us. They call themselves the white man. They recognize as a free white person in law under the corporation that jurisdiction we've been subjugated under because of a blood ritual 200 years ago. The ritual expired July the 4th, 2019. I immediately seized our motherfucking position because that's my job. Now that the position is seized, it's up to us now to demand the 3 kings come give us the report of what's the fuck going on the land. As far as the Moors go, that's not my job to clean that shit up. That's between Taj, Angel Bay, and the rest of them. That's not my house to clean up. I'm just telling you they got infiltrated, and who the infiltrators was, they know them as Dirty Moors. I call them Dirty Moors Farrakhan called them satanic Jews. The same motherfuckers. They know who infiltrated they shit, trying to mislead the people and fleece the flock, because they'll tell you they know. They can call the name of the dirty grand sheiks off the top of their head on the other side of the country. They know who they is because they didn't got the reports from the congregation. That's not my cleanup. I got to go help Larry whatever he need me to fucking do. Right now, he got me out here, little drummer boy. Come to drum major. Lead these motherfuckers to the motherfucking water. You ain't got to make them drink. You just got to tell them where the water at. It's up to them.